Hi everyone, welcome to Life Made Simple. It's a cold day up here in Edmonton, and as you can see I'm not in my usual garage, but I'm here to diagnose a check engine light on a 2012 Nissan Altima. If you've ever had to resolve a P2101 throttle actuator code, or if you've needed to replace a throttle body to resolve that code, I'm going to show you how to do both of those things today, so stay tuned. Here we got a 2012 Nissan Altima, and it's got a check engine light on, so we're going to figure out what that code is. After manually inputting the VIN, this is what I get. It's North America, Common, Sedan, L32, 2012. Pretty sure that's correct. So I gotta go down, go over to yes. So I'm gonna do a system selection because I just want to check the engine code. So we're gonna read fault codes. We got a P2101. Let's do a code search. This is what we're here to fix today. P2101 code, throttle actuator A. Can be difficult, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I did a bit of research on this, and really replacing the actuator is what we want to do, and in this case it's connected to the throttle body. And we are going to be replacing the throttle body on this 2012 Nissan Altima. Let's go back, we're going to clear that code, and then we're going to get started here. First of all, I'm going to disconnect the battery, which apparently needs a cleaning, but the battery is otherwise new. I need to remove the airbox, I need to remove that engine cover, and the whole point is I need to get back behind there where the air hose connects to the throttle body, so I can remove that throttle body and get it replaced. So after I start taking the stuff apart, you'll be able to see the throttle body, and that's what we'll be replacing. As luck would have it today, my favorite Ryobi work light is busted. Only one side's turning on. Now luckily I have like 3 different lights I can use today, but looks like I'm gonna have to send this Ryobi Workbench LED light back, get some warranty. That wasn't on very tight. That might be an issue on its own. Air box, air filter. Let's inspect the air filter while we're at it. As long as you shine a light through and you can see the light, it's still somewhat usable, but it's getting close, so I think we're probably going to change it this year too. I've always got a set of Allen keys handy, so should be the right size. It's a little slower, but it still works. There we go. Just need a bit of leverage, that's all. It's always good to have a magnetic tray handy. Some of that stuff. There we go. And cover just comes right off. That was the second thing I took out. I, of course, need to get to this here, which is the throttle body. So to get to it, I'm going to want to take that off. Two hose clamps to loosen up. Okay. Get that hose off. Go. Well, actually, if I take this up here, swing it over, we got room. I'm gonna zoom in on this for you, so you can see what it is I gotta do here. Here's the throttle body here. A couple of hose clamps here for coolant lines. I'm gonna remove those. The electronic clip back there, I gotta pull out. Just squeeze and pull. And then it's got 4 bolts. It's got 4 bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you remove them in a specific pattern. Bottom left, top right, top left. The bottom right, that's the way we're gonna remove it. And when we install it and torque it down, we're doing the opposite. One thing I don't really enjoy doing is removing plastic clips. Well, I can feel it moving, which is good. Yay, progress. Okay, plastic clip is off. Now, let's get to those coolant lines. And usually with coolant lines, there's almost always corrosion, so getting a pit, and with the corrosion and the coolant, that sugary sweetness, it's gonna get stuck over time. So, what I like to try to do is pry it a bit first. Alright, there we go. Let's put this first one out. See how much coolant loss there is. Nothing. Perfect. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, so I'm bring the camera a bit closer here. Okay, hopefully that'll help. There we go, see? You use that pick, break free some of that corrosion, and it makes your job of pulling coolant hoses off a lot easier. Okay, no coolant leaking out of that either, so I'll try to just keep it vertical a bit. But otherwise, we've got the coolant lines off. Time to remove the bolts for that throttle body. Would this be a 10? It is 10. Probably 10 millimeters. One. Two. Three. Doing some guesswork here. That sounds like a bolt came loose. There we go. And this is the throttle body. Actuator, electrical components, coolant lines. See the back's dirty. In another video I can link to, I show you how to do a throttle body cleaning. That happens to be on my truck. But anyway, we're taking this out. Let's replace it. And here's the throttle body that I'm replacing it with. As you can see, it's still a bit dirty. This one's cleaned. And I will let you know that this was a used part. Why did I decide to go with a used part? Well, you can get an aftermarket part. When I get automotive stuff and it has electronic, I try to go OEM as much as possible. The issue with that is Nissan wants $1,100 Canadian for this part, and wasn't comfortable doing that. So what instead, I went to the local pick and pull. I'm taking my chances. Pulled one out of a Nissan Altima, same engine, looks like an OEM product, and I'm going to install it and hope for the best. I did test this. What it says to do is to test for ohms between pins 5 and 6, which I did. The ohms reading you should get is between 1 and 15. I think I got 3.5. So I'm confident that this, for the most part, should be doing what we expect it to. And we'll get it installed and see how it works. Now that we've got the throttle body off, there's one more thing we're going to go and replace. There's a little gasket here. As you can see, it comes out like that. There's a tab at the top. Looks like it's mostly in the middle. and then it's got this line down it, which is slightly offset. So the line is more towards the outside or the front driver's side of the throttle body than the throttle body itself. So I'm going to grab the replacement gasket. This is the replacement gasket. I'm going to say one thing about this. The brand is Felpro, and I will say the manufacturing, I don't know, quality control not so good. It's got these pieces of rubber that are sticking out and around there, not very nicely cleaned up. Nonetheless, it's new, and I'm gonna install it here. Looks good to me. Let's get that new throttle body installed. Seems I've got them each started, so I get to tightening them down. Right, so it looks like I've got them all initially tightened down, and now I'm going to get a torque wrench and tighten those down to 74 inch-pounds. Hopefully you can see this. 70, 1, 2, 3, and 74 inch-pounds. This is where I guess the order matters. So we're starting with the one on the bottom right. That's one. That one's bottom right. This one's going to be top left. Then top right. And last one, bottom left. There we go. Next, I'm going to plug in our plastic clip. Nice click sound. Time to reinstall our little cooler lines. There's one. There's two. Take the towel out of there. Again, best practice on putting these is to put them back exactly where you found them. There's little grooves that they left from when they were there, and usually to help try to prevent leaks, reusing the same hoses. Best practice is to put these exactly in the same spot you found them in. Coolant line's connected, throttle body connector, wiring harness, bolts are tightened down, ready to put that air intake hose back in, the engine cover, the air box. We should be good to go. Just swing this back in place. Hopefully it'll drop down as nicely as it came out. Sort of. Seems like our work is done here. But first we're going to start it up, let it warm up a bit, and see where to go from there. I will mention that there is an idle relearn procedure for the new throttle body. But with that in mind, after I installed it, I just started it up. What I'm doing is I'm looking to see if that check engine light's going to come back on. Revving it up a little bit. More or less what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it for a drive and see if it's feeling okay. And if I need to do an idle relearn, normally that's because when it gets to the regular operating temperature, it's not idling properly, or you get erratic idle, or it can't figure out where the throttle position is in relationship to the gas pedal. Okay, I took the vehicle for a drive. I recorded some of the live data through that drive while I was accelerating and slowing down and accelerating and looking at the chart data off of the OBD scanner. Everything looks pretty good. I'm giving it gas and it's moving around, and the check engine light has not come back on. All in all, replacing the throttle body on this 2012 Nissan Altima resolved that check engine light, and for a fraction of the cost. If I have to do this work again, it's really not that big a job, so if I have to go to a junkyard and get another part and replace it again because this one fails, it's not that big a deal. It's certainly better than spending, in my opinion, $1,100 just simply on the part. I can always go with an aftermarket part as well, but basically that's how this works. I'm not going to do the idle relearn just because everything seems to be running great and there's no check engine light. I took it for a drive. It's responding very, very well. And so I'm going to leave this one as complete. I'm going to mark it as complete, and we're going to move on. If this video was helpful, then right on, let me know by hitting that like button. Don't forget to subscribe so you can be notified of all our newest DIY and tool review videos, and make sure to leave a comment if you have a suggestion or a question. If you have a better way of doing things, I always encourage you to mention that so the community can learn from that. Appreciate your time in watching this video, and have a great day.